Right, ignition on, choke on. Right, the CB500 is running. That is half of the bikes that are doing the challenge. This is longest day challenge. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. And in about somewhere around, hopefully slightly under, 24 hours, I'm going to be in John O'Groat. I certainly hope I am. Me and the little Honda have got a long day ahead of us. But we're wheels rolling now. And the first pit stop is Cirencester, which is about 5 hours up the road. Safely through the first speed camera of the day, and up in front there's just a great big slope of motorbikes. And trust me, they're all quite crap, because the price limit on this challenge is 600 quid, so what you've got there is quite literally the worst motorbike tour going. But it is going, and that's the important thing. Well, this is fun. We're already off the A30 and the sun's not up, which means it's only about, well, 4:05 in the morning, because they're working on the road, so they've closed it. So now we're on a back road. Even better than that, my phone that I've got running with an app, Calimoto. Shout out to Calimoto for not working this morning. It just keeps saying server error. So my entire 986 mile ride on the map isn't working, which is brilliant. I mean, that is the reason why I have pieces of paper which are going to blow away. Yeah, turns out my my route planning so far, the two things I'm using to do it don't really work, so that's a bonus. I mean, I have got backup pieces of paper and I have got Google Maps, but the actual route isn't in my Google Maps because I had the other app and we're not even on the route anyway, so that's all a problem. But I mean, it's a problem for a bit later because there's 40 bikes in front of me, and if they don't know where they're going, then we're all having a long day out. Oh well, sun will come up in a minute and life will feel better. This is exactly what I wanted from this ride. Fantastic view of the sunrise. That is a life-affirming thing, and I'm incredibly lucky that I get to see that, because, well, many people don't. People struck down with cancer a lot of the time, and that even if they're fighting through to survive it, they're just fighting to see one more sunrise. And I almost don't know how to say it, but if you've got up today and you've looked at the sunrise or even just the sunshine, you are a lucky one, because there'll be people out there who, if they even get a chance to wake up today, won't get a chance to enjoy that because they'll be fighting cancer. And so give me money, put it in the corner. This is for a good cause. This ride is for Cancer Research UK. And then once you've donated, get out there on your motorbike. Go and see the world, even if it is the A30 outside Exeter, because getting out there is wonderful, and we should do that for the people who can't anymore. I'm doing this because my friend Mandy, she loved exploring, and look at that, it's stunning, but she can't do it anymore. She fought cancer for 10 years, and 10 brilliant years with her grandkids. It finally got her. But the research that Cancer Research UK do, that gave her those 10 years. And she would have loved to be on a bike looking at that, because it's beautiful. So if you enjoy anything beautiful, whether it's that, your kids, I don't know, your decay, whatever it is, put money in the pot for Cancer Research UK. It really is worth it. Here we go. pit stop number 1. Right, I think we can now do the official. Hello, welcome to Obsession Engineering on the longest day challenge. There was a nice man at pit stop 1 there cleaning my screen, which is marvellous. The first few hours, and it is several hours, 230 mile to Cirencester services, has been good. Slight diversion on the A30, but not really a problem. A little bit of mist, and then a lovely sunrise coming up through sort of Devon, and that's one of those life-affirming moments where you realise that you really actually enjoy being on a motorbike. And we're doing this for charity, we're doing this for Cancer Research UK, but I'm actually enjoying riding my motorbike. I'm enjoying riding my little pink CB500. It's not the fanciest thing in the world, but it's mine, and we're getting on very well at the moment. But it is pit stop time. What I really need to do is pee and eat a little bit, because I'm hungry, because that will keep my enthusiasm up, and fill up my water thing and look at a spaceman on a Blackbird, because why not? And then just double check my route plan for the next bit, and we can crack on. So at the moment I'm feeling good. We've not done quarter of the mileage yet. So I'm not far away from Warwick now, and it's getting more. More traffic, more heat, more numb bum. Now the traffic I can't do anything about. The heat, I currently have an extra layer on that at the next pit stop. In about 2 hours I'll take off. But the numb bum, that's... I mean, I've got a lot of seat padding on this bike, and still I have a slightly numb bum. And every now and again you have a little stand up on the foot pegs or a little stretch your legs, and it helps a little bit for a few miles. What I'm really looking forward to is the ferry at Dunoon, because then you get at least 20 minutes off the bike. I can have a proper stretch, really work it out of me a little bit. The only problem is that's about 500 miles, and my bum's already beginning to feel it, and I've done 260 miles. So that's going to be fun. Welcome to Clay Cross, which means I'm only about 2 minutes from pit stop number 2, which is a good thing because I need the toilet. There's a man pumping tyres up down here asking if the noise helps. Luckily his compressor is actually quite quiet. And welcome to pit stop 2, where helmets are being cleaned, bikes are being wiped down, tyres being pumped up, chains being lubed, that sort of stuff, because the crew at the My Moto stop, not only do they have many things for your motorcycling apparel, they also have some wonderful volunteers who are helping out today. I'm actually feeling all right. My bum is beginning to feel it, so I'm going to have a little stretch in a minute. In fact, I'm going to stick a leg up there and have a stretch at the same time as talking to you, because that's time efficient and that's important today. Feeling all right, actually. The run to pit stop 1 was nicer than the run to pit stop 2 because I didn't have to go through Burton-on-Trent in the first bit. And we're doing a bit more town riding now. And the next stint to Guy's Thatched Cottage, near a bit south of Lancaster, we now have to go through Chesterfield, Sheffield, Huddersfield, Halifax. You see, I'm talking like Yorkshireman already. Huddersfield, Halifax. And that, town centres, Saturday, it is now about, it's very late morning. These places are going to be very busy, and so this section coming up, it's got the most sort of navigation points, and my sat nav doesn't work properly because it just doesn't, and it's going to be very hot, and there's going to be a lot of stop-start and a lot of riding slow, so I need to make sure I'm hydrated, and I'm getting hungry again, so I need to eat. The little bike's going okay. Clutch feels a little weird in it, but I'm just being a bit gentle with the clutch. But everything else is going okay. In my little tiny rucksack, there's a 2-litre water pouch in there for keeping me hydrated during the day, and in my top box I've got some Holy. They sent me a new load of the energy drink stuff the other day, but what I don't need right now is a massive caffeine boost. But what I do need is to stay hydrated. So I've got the watermelon holy hydration drink, and I use that quite a bit when I'm training and when I'm riding in really hot weather and stuff. So I'm going to put a couple of scoops of that in my water in my bag, and then as I'm sipping as I ride along, I'm going to stay hydrated. So I'll put a discount code in the corner. It won't be the top link in the description, because that's the one for Cancer Research UK. It's probably second, and you can even see my underpants, you lucky buggers. Back on the road again. I've just had a slurp of my slightly nice cool water and my holy mix, because my holy hydration is going to be needed, because I'm going to start sweating quite a lot soon, I suspect, while I'm sat in traffic through town centres. And so if I need to stay alert, it means I need to stay hydrated. So that's what the Camel Pack's for. The Holy will definitely help, full of vitamins and minerals and electrolytes, but no sugars and caffeines and bits, so it's actually doing me some good while it's in there. I've had a snack, I've had some drink now, visor's clean, I've changed my map list, and I've faffed around and put a couple of waypoints in Google Maps, so it'll basically know where I'm going. I mean, I actually know where I'm going to begin with anyway, so I can turn that off. Sometimes it's good to take the little wins in life, like getting through Chesterfield and Sheffield quite efficiently, and this is my turning, a 629, and even though we're doing nearly 1,000 miles a day, the list of roads isn't actually that many. Like, this is a tough section, and it's A61, 629, 59 and a sort of little B road. But making sure you get the junction is quite important. And there's bits through town centres where the numbers like disappear and change and stuff. So I've taken a little win. Sheffield, Chesterfield, done. Not got stabbed, not got shot, and I've come out the other side on the right road. So little win, done. Little bit of motivation for myself to keep going. Look, a viaduct. That's quite nice. Turns out the A629 out of Sheffield is considerably better than you'd expect a road that links Sheffield and Huddersfield. It's actually quite nice. Well, it was until I got a load of traffic again, so back to filtering. So I've just had a moment of realisation, and it's that my maths isn't very good. For some reason at Clay Cross, I totted stuff up, me fuel stops and bits, and went, oh, we're 450 miles in, that's nearly halfway. It's nowhere near halfway. Halfway is very north in England. We're actually at 350, actually nearly 400 miles now, because I've been going a bit further. But sometimes these things dawn on you, and you go, I've gone from, yay, we're making really good sort of speed up the country, to, oh no, I'm not. I mean, it's still going pretty well, but that moment where you go, no, when I leave pit stop 3, that'll be getting towards halfway. Yeah, well, at least now I know. Don't get too excited by mileages when you're counting them using my maths. I'm going to look at the positives as much as I can. The rain falling out of the sky on me right now in my lightweight mesh riding kit, that's refreshing. So that's another tick for part 3 of my journey. Pit stop 3. I think it's going all right, other than the boys, I've got the gaffer tape out because my indicator is, put it this way, the old like rubber that was really good for taking the vibration out of the indicators 28 years ago is a little past its best now. So that's having a modification, a fix. Somebody's modified that as well. Wavy Dave. I mean, they're children, but I like them. They're my kind of children. Right. Pit stop 2 to 3. Going off the time that Google Maps said, I managed to knock 40 minutes off by filtering with intent, I'm going to call it. Confident that was. But it's an odd route because you go through the middle of Sheffield and places like that. And then the next thing, well, I say the next thing, then before you know it, you're over the tops of bits of Yorkshire, and then there's some wonderful countryside. I actually saw people having a full-on come-by-our session in a churchyard, randomly. I've seen a road closure, humpback bridge, and just literally everything in one stint. I mean, one stint did take me 2 and a bit hours, so fair enough. But boys, I'll fix my bike up. I'm going to go over there and grab some food. I might treat myself to an ibuprofen because some things ache, and I'm going to practice my maths because in the last pit stop I said it was 450 mile in. Now I'm 450 miles in, but best part of 3 hours later. So the nice thing is all my joints are beginning to ache, my back aches, and we're almost halfway. As I said, this is for Cancer Research UK. Give us money. This is actually a challenge. Right, I've put the proper camera down, I've still got my phone on me, and we'll give a shout out to the lovely people at Guy's Thatched Hamlet who have put on a spectacular spread to keep us lot going, and I'm about to have some lemon cake because lemon's fruit and it's good for me. So the keen-eyed amongst you may notice that it's raining quite a lot, and I'm wearing really lightweight riding kit, but it is really warm, and so what I've opted to do is put my waterproof trousers on, because if my crotch gets wet and my padded cycling shorts underneath get wet, they're not going to dry out for a very long time, and that's going to be unpleasant for a very long time, and I don't want to have nappy rash really, and so Mac in a sack. Before I came, Mac in a sack, go online, just look for Mac in a sack. They gave me some waterproofs, and the great thing with the trousers is there's a big zip up the side, so without having to take my boots off or anything, literally pulled over, waterproofs on, back on the bike, less than a minute, real easy thing to do, and now I won't have a wet crotch, which I'm particularly keen on. I've driven this road quite a lot of times on the way to Stranraer to go road racing over in Ireland, do the Ulster Grand Prix and Cookstown and Tandragee and Armoy, and I forget how great that view is. This is A75 on the way to Dumfries, and that's stunning, and this is definitely not the first time today that I have had an absolutely stunning view. There's places on this ride where you just feel like you're on top of the world, and it's blooming marvellous. I remember last time getting onto the A76 and thinking, what a great piece of road. And now I've got onto the A76, it is a great piece of road. Lovely, sweeping, quick. I've had 2 vehicles so far, and it's just great scenery, great road, no traffic, a few massive midges, but another reason to get out on your bike, come exploring in Scotland, where nobody wants to spend any money on fuel so the roads are empty. Blooming marvellous. Pit stop 4. This is Gourock. It's the ferry for Dunoon, and if you look over there, you can see a ferry leaving. It's only a little bit irritating. It would have been lovely to have been on that one and been sailing away and be 20 minutes further on. But the plus side of this is I'm going to go over to that piece of grass in a minute, and I'm going to have a very quick lay down and a bit of a stretch. And then obviously we get a bit of time on the ferry to chill. And I've just had another man's hot meat, because pit stop 4 they do hot dogs, and I've had one and I am going to have another one, because you've got to fuel the fire. The nice thing is, while we wait for the ferry, I'm here with Mick. Mick's on a Pan-European?
No, BMW 1200 RT.
Oh, like a Pan-European but made by the Germans. How uncomfortable are you?
I'm all right, actually. I'm very comfortable because I've got a super seat, haven't I? Which is far better than that rug thing that you've cut out of somebody's carpet. I've got proper sheepskin.
And you're doing this because, unfortunately, your wife is fighting it at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, Lorraine. She's only been retired properly from nursing 12 months, and there you go. Thank you very much. Got breast cancer, but she puts a face on everything. She's gone through everything. She's had, got both boobs. I'll have to put it on. Got both boobs reduced, so got buy one get one free, a bit like Tesco. And she's had chemotherapy. She's had radiotherapy, and now she's on oral chemo, and she sleeps for England. It's knocking her for 6, but we plod on. It's been 12 months.
Yeah,
we plod on, and that's why that's why I'm doing it again now.
Yeah,
for her.
Exactly, because we're doing this because they do the research, they put up the fight, and then our loved ones stay with us for longer.
Yeah, and she was a research nurse.
Right.
To cap it all.
Yeah. Right. And on that point, I'm going to have another hot dog while you give me and Mick money. According to Google Maps, Inverness Motorcycles, our next pit stop, is 4 and a bit hours away, which is, I think, 175 mile to our next stop, which is not an insignificant amount of mileage. So the rest of the entire trip, which is about 6.5, 7 hours of riding, is on one piece of paper now. But don't be fooled into thinking this is a short trip. I mean, 7 hours on a bike is still a fairly big hit. And I'm not going to be the freshest, obviously, as we get into this section. So it's all about keeping the concentration, keeping the vision up, and hopefully enjoying the ride. Because as much as we're doing this for charity, and as much as it is a challenge, if you enjoy it, it does help the job a little bit. It turns out the 815 from Dunoon, I mean, this bit's straight and quite dull, but the scenery is fantastic again, and the road is really quite good fun. And this year, because it's a little bit earlier, the worst of the midges don't appear to have come out. There's 2 on my screen and about the same amount on my visor, which is why I'm now attempting to stay fairly tucked in. It's not about aerodynamics, it's actually not very comfortable in that position, but if it means I can see her for a little bit longer and don't have to clean my visor, especially if it means I don't have to stop to clean my visor, then I'm all for it. Motorbikes are ace. I mean, look at that! Isn't it just fantastic? Yeah, being more organised and having a better bike so I got here sooner is better, because seeing this in daylight is just wonderful. I'm a happy boy right now. What's going on here then? Oh, that looks expensive. I mean, this is a fun road, but I'm not sure it's quite as good in a Billy Bowie tanker. That's gone wrong, hasn't it? Could be poo everywhere. Right, the views keep coming. That is the sun setting behind the mountains, or something. And that just the way the light's streaming through across the sides of the hills. That is flipping awesome. I mean, I'm not a wordsmith, clearly, but that looks pretty darned cool. Yes, I'm liking Scotland at sunset. It's very pretty. I think that might be the shot of the day. Beautiful bit of road, beautiful bit of sunset, beautiful sunset, hills, thingy. 3 beautiful things anyway. You get the idea. And a pink CB500. What could possibly be any better? I knew there was a reason I had it cable tied on. That went quite well then. Yes, cable ties, excellent. Halfway between Fort William and Inverness, and I stopped in Fort William for a visor cleaner, a comfort break, and these boys obviously all disappeared off in front. I've had a very good run through, shall we say. It's been most enjoyable down a twisty road in Scotland, in what I'm going to refer to as CB500 territory. You don't have to go really fast if the road's really twisty to have a really fun time. And so, yes, I've actually managed to catch these boys up. Obviously I have no idea, they might have stopped for fuel or something. But it's always nice mentally to know you're going okay if you're catching people up. Pit stop 5, the last pit stop. And if you look up there, still slightly light. I mean, don't get me wrong, we don't get a lot of dark up here in winter. But it is basically a tiny bit light still, and that is significant because last time I did this challenge, when I got off the ferry, it was darker than this. And so progress today has been considerably better. And I had a bit of a moment as I was riding up sort of Glencoe area. Dipstick's other side.
Yeah, it is Dipstick. Yeah, well, we're just checking for a car.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, it is Dipstick job. Sorry, the pit stop team are checking my oil for me. And then they're going to do the plugs. And I wouldn't mind if they did the valve clearances either. Yeah, I haven't done them. Right, where was I? So, last time I did this, because I was terribly disorganised and everything was way behind schedule and I'd made life basically really hard work for myself, by the time I got onto the road from like Fort William up to Inverness, you know, morale, that's the word I'm looking for, had dropped incredibly low. And then we basically got off the ferry at Dunoon, and after that we just had a really nice run, basically all the way across Scotland for like 4 hours. And it was everything I needed. And I was slightly concerned this time that because I'd had a good run the rest of it, that wouldn't have the same sort of reward to it. And then I got on the road from Fort William to Inverness. That road is awesome. It's not fast. It's just constant sweeping, flowing, beautiful. Just, I think there was one car the entire way, and the rest of it was just gorgeous. Me and my little pink CB500 in perfect harmony, just flowing beautifully. You know, slow in, fast out, just in the right gear everywhere. Just, it was like music, it was. And what, of course, I mean by this is the day has been terrible. I'm surprised any of us are even surviving. It's been utterly awful, and therefore you need to give us more money to soothe our woes. I mean, it is still a challenge, and we have still got 140 miles to go to John O'Groats, which bizarrely feels like a really long way, but it is for a good cause, so give us money. I'm going to eat something. Life affirming, I think is going to be the best term for today. It's reminded me above everything else that you need to go and live your life because you only get one and it's not going to last forever. So I am utterly proud of every penny that's been raised for Cancer Research UK, because that gives other people the chance to live another day, to go and try and do something stupid with it, hopefully. What a difference 40 miles has made. 40 miles ago I was in Inverness, and I just finished like the most fun bit of the ride, cutting across from the Doon ferry to Inverness. It's just really good fun on really good roads and awesome scenery, and I sort of got to Inverness and just felt really buoyant. 40 miles later, it's cold. Everything now aches. The cold isn't helping that, so my hand is beginning to ache, my back aches, my neck aches, my bum has basically been like this now for about 800 miles, and it turns out my cheap Chinese headlights aren't really very good, so I'm kind of living off the white lines at the moment. And the nice thing is it's a clear night, so it's not that dark. This is as dark as it's going to get, but that means it's cold. I've turned the heated grips on, and I've put my Mac in a sack on, because it's just keeping the wind out, and it is helping, but there is no getting down to it, or no getting through it, that I am now just quite cold. And I normally like doing this sort of thing on my own, because I like to sort of push myself and see what I can do. But the problem with that is, when it's dark and cold at night and your headlight's really quite crap, it'd be quite nice if there was somebody around with potentially a better headlight, or just almost that sense that you just had somebody there if a stag runs out and you hit that or do something daft, or your bike just stops. So right now it's just you and me, and if I'm honest, you're not very talkative, so it's mostly just me and me crap Chinese headlights, and I've still got 80 miles to go. Yeah, this bit really does drag. I think this is cold, and I'm riding through this village at well after midnight, and I've just seen a bunch of men walking back from the pub, full t-shirt and shorts, regalia. Beer coats admittedly do keep you slightly warm, but turns out I might just be a soft southerner, but I'm okay with that. Welcome to John O'Groats. I've made it. I'm very, very pleased of being here. The last, well, it's 120 mile from Inverness. That's basically 12% of the ride, which is a lot. And especially because it's cold and dark, and the last few miles were, the roads were wet, the mist was rolling in and out, my headlights are quite crap, and in places there's no road markings, and so it was actually quite tough. There just comes a point where you're motivated that you want to finish, but actually having the mental capacity to still do it is awkward. But I like to finish things, and realistically there's no other choice anyway. So you keep plodding on, and here we are at John O'Groats, and I have this weird feeling now where all I really want is a hot shower and a sleep, but I'm actually really, really pleased to be here. This has been a long day, and it has been a challenge, but in the morning, when I've recovered a little bit, this will feel awesome, I think, because taking on something big and doing it and completing it always feels good, and so thank you for watching. Thank you even more if you've donated. This has been a challenge. It's in aid of Cancer Research UK. I've had Mandy with me for the whole ride, really, and now I'm really, really tired. So that's it. I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching.